This
The first one
conference
is
will now be recorded.
the first one is the configurations. What do you mean by the configurations? So before doing the configurations, what you have to do? Okay, in Workday, anyone has any idea what we have to do?
In like the tenant setup, right?
Okay, after the tenant setup,
Tenant setup, I mean, then create suppliers, customers, maybe.
okay. So after the tenant setup, you have to activate the functional area, suppliers functional area. So all these submodules, we call it as a functional areas in Workday. So you have to activate the suppliers functional area. So then as a consultant, okay, after all your business requirements finalize, you have to start the configurations. What do you mean by the configurations? Okay, why we have to do it? So let's say if you have the company, you are using one tool or ERP, another ERP package or some other application. It's a non-Workday application. So you want to move to the Workday solution. So what you can do? You will invite the service partners. Okay, you will check it. You will finalize the IT service partners and you will take the license from the Workday. Then you will start the project. So what you can do? Once you start the project, so the IT service partner will finalize their IT Workday IT team. So the senior team will come to you. That means you are the client. So they will sit with your business users, core business users. They'll ask, what are the processes you are following? Let's say now stick to the suppliers process. So in the current application, or we call it as generally the current application, we call it as legacy system. Okay. So in the current application, what are the activities you are doing? What type of procurements you are doing in your supplier process? Okay. How you are doing the supply related invoicing, the payments, what type of payment types are using? Okay, all those things your service partner team will check with your business core business users. Okay, how you set up in your current system, how you are expecting in the new system Workday. So the service partner team, that means okay, the IT team will sit with your your core business users team and take the requirements, and they will study your current process. They will try to understand your current process, and they will explain the to be process. Okay, the to be means the new system, how the same setup will be, how you are maintaining your supplier masters in your current system, how your supplier masters are going to be maintained in the Workday. So these all those things, okay, they will explain to the business users team. Once they agreed, they will start to prepare the business blueprint document. Okay, the to be business blueprint document. So once complete the document, they will share it to the your core business users team. So that head of the team will review the document. They will, if everything is okay, they will sign off. Once you got the sign off, then the IT team will start the actual configurations in the system. So what are these configurations? What do you mean by these configurations? So to start your day-to-day supply related business activities in the Workday system, okay, you have to maintain certain prerequisites. Okay, those we call it as a configuration steps. and I think most of are already learned working in Workday, right? So the Workday is not customizable system. It's a configurable system. Whatever Workday is delivered, so we have to configure and we have to strictly inform to the client. So this is possible, this is not possible. It's not like other ERPs like SAP or the Oracle or like, so you cannot do the customizations if something is not available in the Workday standard solution. Okay, so you cannot do it. So those things you have to clearly explain to your client. So once you start the configuration, you have to do certain steps. So if you want to maintain your customer supplier related information, okay, you have to follow some prerequisites. If you want to raise your invoice, purchase order, goods receipt, at the payment, if you want to make the supplier payment, so for all those things you have to maintain certain prerequisites. Those are called as configuration steps. So what are the configuration steps? We have to do it. The next one is, we'll go to the configuration. The next one is the roles. What kind of business roles are the security groups, generic roles are the security groups available in Workday, okay, in the live projects. So you may use the same kind of roles, or the naming conventions of the role may be changed. That is as per the business decision. Okay, the business will decide. What are the roles exactly here? You are working as a accountant, accounts payable accountant, or accounts payable manager, accounts payable senior manager. So like those positions we call as a roles. Okay, then the business process. What is the business process? The business process is nothing but the sequence of steps to follow to complete a activity. Then the supplier procurement process flow. As I told in the initially, whether you are going the direct purchases or the procurement process like through purchase order process. And what are the business use cases will come generally. If you forget about a Workday, take any ERP, okay, what are the general business use cases will be available in the supplier process? What are the standard reports, okay, and what are the cutover tasks? So all those things we will discuss in this session. So guys, any questions? Hello guys, any questions?
No questions. Please go ahead.
Okay, so these are the complete as a consultant, okay, as a Workday finance consultant, you have to check all those things. Why I am clearly mentioning this, see, whether it is Workday or SAP or Oracle or the PeopleSoft or any other ERP, we are working as a consultants, okay, we are not the developers, okay. So the consultant means the consultant has to have the knowledge on both the ERP solution and the business domain knowledge. We should be in a position to advise the client, because in case of normal like the developing tools like Java, other things like, so they will take the business, okay, requirement, and they will try to understand the requirement. But because to develop the business solution, here we are not developing any solution, we are implementing the solution already developed by the service owner, the product owner, okay. So that's why if you want to implement some solution, you need to have some domain knowledge on the process like finance or HCM or the integrations or payrolls, okay. That's why I am telling you, so you have to understand the business process as a consultant. So here the first thing is,
So I have a question. Sorry for interruption. So,
Yep.
so as you said, Workday is like a configuration tool, not a customized tool, right? So, can we? I mean, client will agree upon all their requirements, or for example, if there is no functional, for example, in PeopleSoft we have a functionality which is not available in Workday yet. So, how we can get a sign off from client side that if there is no functionality, we can't do anything, right?
See, the first thing is before starting the project, okay, the client will try to check it, right? What is Workday? What kind of solutions they are providing? Whether the solution is fit with your business or not. Okay, that they will check it and start to think of implementing the Workday. So then during the implementation also they will ask the service partners, okay, they will explain the current process. So this is what I am following, okay, so I want the improvement version of this in the Workday. So the service partner will clearly explain this is possible, this is not, because there are two things. One is after knowing all those things, then only they will start to implement the Workday. From the Workday point of view, one is Workday is still developing the product. Okay, it's a 14 years, okay, life of the product. Still they are coming with the new versions with every 6 months. If because they will study all the type of industries requirements and they will add the solutions in each version. If you
Okay.
see currently the Workday is they have the solutions only for the finance and the HCM payrolls. Still they don't have the complete solutions for the supply chain kind of logistics, okay, some other industry specific solutions, okay. Due to that, still the Workday, even though it's a fast growing ERP solution in the market, if you see the trends from the last 4 or 5 years, still they are not getting the complete process at the manufactured clients, because as you said, they don't have the solutions for the industry specific like SAP or the Oracle. If you see the SAP, they have like industry specific solutions like IS banking, IS retail, IS gas, okay, IS media. So all those things. So in future we are expecting the solutions for the Workday, because this is still developing the product. If you see the lifetime of the SAP or the Oracle, they already crossed 30 years or 40 years of, but in Workday, still 14 years product. Still we can expect a lot of new features or the new solutions, new industry specific or some other solutions. So that means in future we'll get a lot of opportunities. We'll get a lot of new clients will add to the Workday. Right.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions before moving to the configurations? Okay, assuming no questions. So now we'll move to the first one. So the configurations. So the configuration supply related. Okay, this is called as accounts payable process. In Workday, we call it as a suppliers process. So in the supplier process, to maintain the supplier master data, okay, or the supplier transaction data, we have to maintain certain configuration steps. So before the configurations, again, any idea on the what is master data and what is the transactional data? Forget about SAP Workday. What is master data? What is the transactional data?
Transaction data is every day, like all the transactions, but the reference data we use, in general, called as a master data.
Yes, yes. So if you take any ERP, okay, first you have to do the your day-to-day activities, your regular business activities, your business end users like normal accountants or accounts executives or managers or okay, all your day-to-day business activities like finance or HR, um, sales or purchases. For each department's day-to-day activities, we call it as a transactional data. So to do the transactional data, you need to have the master data. Okay. To do the transactional data and master data, you need to have the configurations. So the first step is, as a consultant, we have to do these configurations. Okay. This is same whether you are following Workday or SAP or Oracle or any other things. Okay, you have to follow as per that particular ERP related configuration. So in Workday, we have to follow these configuration steps for the supplier process. In SAP, there are some other configurations. In Workday, there are some other configurations you have to follow. In PeopleSoft, you have to maintain some other configurations. Okay, so these are the configurations to nothing but the prerequisite steps to follow the day-to-day activities or the master data. So here, the configuration steps you have to follow is supplier categories, supplier groups, spend categories, payment terms, payment types, posting rule set, work tag usage, assign security role to the company, sequence generators for the suppliers, sequence generators for the supplier invoice. Okay, so these are the basic okay configuration steps you have to do to create your supplier master, to do your day-to-day business activities. There are some other additional configurations also you can do based on the business requirements, something like related to your logo and all those things. Okay, but these are the, if you go to any project, these are the basic configuration steps you have to maintain it. The first one is, what is supplier category? What do you mean by the supplier category? What is the use of that? Anyone has any idea? What is the use of this?
So we have to categorize the suppliers, like maybe like I will be buying computers for a company, we'll be buying food for the company. So
Yes,
like
yes,
categories, IT
you are right,
department
sir.
and
Yes,
janitor department, like that.
yes. To segregate the suppliers into different okay categories or the groups, you have to maintain these supplier categories. This will help you while doing the reportings. Let's say if you take any big company, generally they used to deal with the different suppliers okay daily also. Then how to identify those things? So okay, all those suppliers will identify based on the supplier categories. Let's say I'm dealing with my local suppliers, I'm dealing with my foreign suppliers, I'm dealing with service suppliers, I'm dealing with the materials related suppliers, raw material related suppliers. So like that. Okay, so you have to segregate your suppliers into different categories. This is the supply, how you are maintaining your live projects. Generally the suppliers, so the supplier categories, how you know? So in the live projects, what will happen? As I told you, in the initial, the business discussion level, business requirement gathering stage, the senior consultants okay will sit with the business core users. They will take the inputs. The business will provide the list of supplier categories, what they are using in the current system and what they are going to use in the new system. Or they want to follow the same categories in the old system, the same they want to continue in the new system, or they want to add some more, or they want to delete it some more, like that. So the business will decide. Okay, the business will give the list of supplier categories. So based on that, IT team, okay, the implementation team will configure the supplier categories. So the naming conventions, the list of suppliers categories will be given by the business. business means the client, any ERP, like not only for the Workday, SAP, Oracle people, anything. Okay, so this will happen. So why we need to maintain the supplier categories is to create the supplier master. This is the mandatory step, supplier categories, because we are creating the supplier masters based on the supplier categories. So that's why the first step is you have to do the configuration supplier categories. Like let's say I'm configuring my supplier category, local suppliers, foreign suppliers, service suppliers, raw material suppliers, like one-time suppliers, like intercompany suppliers. All those things I can maintain based on the business requirement. Then the supplier groups. So the supplier groups also the same like supplier categories. So to segregate the suppliers into different groups, same like local, or there is no major difference between these two things, but this is optional step. Supplier group is an optional step. Okay, supplier categories is a mandatory step. Okay, supplier groups optional step. If you want, you can maintain it, or else not required. Then the spend categories. What do you mean by the spend category? Any idea? What do you mean by the spend category?
No idea.
So these spend categories are nothing but the nature of expenditure. The nature of the spend. Spend means expenditure. The nature of expenditure you are doing as part of your purchases. Okay. So because in Workday, the spend categories are, this has a lot of importance in the accounting point of view, because in the account posting rule set, okay, we will maintain the spend categories with a combination of required business dimensions like company, cost centers, or the fund centers, some other, okay, whatever the business dimensions required. Okay, we will maintain the spend categories with a combination of the GL accounts, because this spend categories only we'll use while doing the postings. So that's why we have to
Can you
maintain
quote
this
some
spend
example?
category. Let's say I am procuring the raw materials. Okay, so I'm creating this spend category as the inventory expenses. Okay, I'm procuring the packaged goods, so I have to maintain one more spend category, packaged goods. So like that, you have to maintain your spend categories. So for all these spend categories, you have to assign with a combination of the required business dimensions and the GL accounts. As you're aware or not, in finance, Workday Finance, there are two kind of postings. Okay, accounting journals and the operational journals. Except the GL process, all other financial postings will be done through the operational postings. So to make the operational postings, the spend categories will play the key role for expenses spend categories for the revenue categories. Okay, so you have to maintain these spend categories in the account posting rule set level. The next one is payment terms. What do you mean by the payment term? Anyone has any idea?
All about whether it is advance payment or credit period is there 30 days or 60 days, or if it is through LC.
Yes. So the payment terms
Different.
are nothing but the terms of conditions for the payment. Okay, example like if you pay within 10 days, I'll give the 2% cash discount. Okay, if you pay within 10 days, like 1%, within 30 days you have to make the payment, like that. So the payment terms will define. It will specify the invoice, okay, due date and the cash discount details. So again here the payment terms and the spend categories also. The naming conventions are the GL accounts. The list of payment terms or the list of spend categories will be given by the business. So we will configure it based on the business list. The next one is payment types. What do you mean by the payment types?
It's like a mode of payment through check or through online payment or through LC or BZ bank or
Yes,
anything like.
yes. Because as a company, you may have to deal with so many suppliers. Each supplier may follow different or will allow different payment types. Nothing but the payment type or the payment method. The check, cash, check, online payment, credit card, debit card. These payment times will be depend on the country's payment structures also. If you see in India, mostly the most of the payment type is check. If you go to some other countries like US, you go there they will use mostly the uh, ACH payments, wire payments. If you go to the Singapore, mostly they'll use the Giro payments. Australia, Giro payments. If you see the China, ACH payments, they'll follow. Along with others also, most of the user payment times I'm telling you. If you see the European payments, SEPA payments, all the European countries. So like that. So based on that, based on the supplier's business operations, the client will share the list of payment times. All those payment times you have to configure. Okay. So the next one is posting rule set. So the posting rule set, as I told you, the spend categories, this is at posting rule set level. We will maintain the GL accounts with a combination of the spend categories and the required business with a combination of company, cost centers, fund, okay, line of business, whatever the based on the business requirement. The business dimensions combination will vary from the business to the business. Then work tag usage. So some kind of work tags, you know, right? So the business dimensions, I think work tags are nothing but the business dimensions like cost centers, company, line of business, product type. Okay. So while creating the supplier masters or while doing the supplier business processes, if you want some business dimensions, you can maintain at the time of posting or creating the master data. Okay. At the time of creating the master data itself, you can maintain some default work tags. Based on that, automatically, if you select this spend category or company combination, system will derive the required work tag usages. Okay. The next one is assign security role to the company. What do you mean by the security role? So nothing but list of authorizations to provide to the business users. So there are so many business users in each department or each function or the business unit. You have to provide the required authorizations only. Let's say only if you take the supplier invoice. Okay. So the supplier invoice, only the supplier accounts payable analyst has to post as per the business requirement, or the accounts payable manager can post it. So based on that, you have to maintain the roles at the each company level. So the list of roles also the business will share. As a consultant, you have to configure it as per the business requirement. Then the sequence generators for the suppliers and the supplier invoices. What do you mean by the sequence generators? Anyone has an idea? What do you mean by the sequence generators?
Like invoice numbers or journal numbers.
Yes, yes. Okay. So as I told you here in the first steps, the suppliers categories. So you are defining your supplier categories into different categories. How you segregate each category based on the number assignment. Let's say my local suppliers will be in the 1 to 1000. My foreign suppliers 2000 to the 3000. My service suppliers like 3000 to the 4000. So like that you can segregate your suppliers. So you have to maintain the numbers. Okay. So here the sequence generators for the suppliers will be beyond the company level. That means within the tenant level. Within the tenant level, there could be 10 companies, 5 companies, or the 100 companies. Okay. So tenant level will maintain the sequence generator for the suppliers. So all those suppliers can use within the tenant level companies are available. The next one is sequence generator for the supplier invoice. So this sequence generator for the supplier invoice will be maintained at the company level. So invoice always will post at the company's level because all the financial transactions will be posted at the company level, whether invoice or the payment or the debit memo or the credit memo. Okay, whatever it is, always will be posted at the company level. So these are the list of configuration steps you have to maintain as a Workday finance consultant. If you go to the any project, Workday project, so these are the default configurations you have to maintain. Okay, you have to configure to create the master data, to make the day-to-day accounts payable or supply related or the accounts payable related business transactions.
It's a functional
So-
team task, right? In general.
Yes, Workday finance consultant, the functional consultants. Okay.
Okay.
So I had put the screenshot also. So you have to maintain the supplier categories like the default things I had given here. Okay. So based on the business requirement in the live projects, you will put the names like, see here the default, these are the default things, Workday default things like automobiles, information technology, office suppliers, professional services, property minutes, like that. So these are the defaults. So in actual in your actual business scenario, that all these naming conventions will be given by the business team and you will configure it. Then the payment types, cash, check, credit card. Okay, there are so many other payment types you have to maintain as per the business. It all depends on the nature and size of the business operations. So the next one, the second one is the roles and the security groups. We have completed the configurations. Then the roles and the security groups. So the roles and the security groups. So generally, these are the generic roles available in the accounts payable process or the supplier process. Okay. So the naming conventions, again, as I told, the naming conventions will be vary from the business to the business. But these are the generic role types will be available in any project. So what is the role? Like accounts payable entry specialist. Generally, this role will initiate the supplier invoices or the supplier recurring invoices. Okay, we'll discuss it going forward. What is recurring invoice and all. This is the, we have two types of role size in Workday: role based and the user based. Okay, generally this role based will be used for your regular activities, whether it is a finance or the HCM or the payroll. The user based means all administrative activities, administrator roles. Accounts payable analyst. Okay, this performs the just to check the posted invoices. Accounts payable settlement specialist. This is for the it initiate the supplier payments. Accounts payable manager. So this is first level of supplier invoices. Supplier administrator. This is the user based. Okay, all your supply related, okay, activities will allow. The third one is business processes. Okay. So what do you mean by the business process? We're already some of the Workday HCM consultant, right? What do you mean by the business process?
It's rule set how it can be, execute in the
Yes, yes. To
day-to-day
complete a
business.
business transaction, to complete a business transaction or the activity, you have to maintain certain sequence of the steps. Let's say you want to create a supplier master. Okay. So to create the supplier master, there should be some approval process or some sequence of the steps. Let's say if you want to create the local suppliers, you have to follow two levels of approvals. If it is a foreign suppliers, 3 levels or 4 levels. It all depends on the business requirement. Okay. Let's say if you are posting the supplier invoice, okay. Let's say if you are posting the 10,000 amount, 2 levels of approvals are the 3 levels of approvals. Beyond 10,000, there should be certain levels like controllers or the senior managers approvals. If you are making the payments, only the controllers will make the payments or the senior managers will make the payments like that. So the business will give the guidelines. Based on that, you have to configure the business processes or change the business process, the delivered business process. Workday has given the a list of business processes. So you can change it or you can copy and change it. The next one is supplier procurement process. Okay. If you are doing the direct purchases, that means if you are not following the P2P cycle process, procure to pay cycle process. Okay. This is invoice and the payment. If you are following the procure to pay process, the generic procurement process we call it as a P2P, procure to pay. Okay. Purchase requisitions, purchase orders. Once approved, purchase request order will convert to the purchase orders. Then the goods receipt, invoice match with the PO on the GR. What do you mean by the invoice match with the PO on the GR? Like in general, while doing the invoices, okay, you will maintain the 2-way match or the 3-way match. Any idea?
Matching the details provided in purchase order is matching with the invoice.
Yes, yes.
Rate,
The quantity and the
product,
price.
quantity.
PO quantity is matching with the invoice quantity, or the GR quantity is matching with the invoice quantity. Okay, you have to check it. Then the settlement. Then settlement means supplier payments. So this is the generic business process flow for the procurement. Okay. The next one, business use cases. Here two things: business use cases for the master data, business use cases for the transactional data. Why I'm telling the using the business use cases means, so before going to the live system or Workday or any other ERPs, okay, as a consultant, you have to configure and you have to test all the business scenarios beforehand or to the client. As a consultant, you have to test it. So what type of, as part of project implementation, you have to do the unit testing, integration testing, some kind of performance testing, some kind of regression testing, all those things, right? Okay. So here you have to test it, whether the create supplier functionality is working or not, whether the change or update supplier functionality is working or not, display functionality or the view functionality is working or not. If you don't want to continue the some existing suppliers, are you able to inactivate the suppliers or not? So all those things you have to test. as part of the testing the functionality. So I had given the possible business use cases came like create suppliers, change or update suppliers, view suppliers, create the 1099 supplier. This is related to the withholding tax related suppliers, especially for the US clients. Inactivate supplier, whether you are able to inactivate the suppliers or not. Sometimes like holding of suppliers or removal of hold or updating of the logos. So all those things, the business scenarios, you have to test it as part of supplier master data. 1 minute, guys. Sorry, guys. Okay, so these are the list of business use cases will be available in master datas. There could be some other additions and deletions also based on the business requirement. You have to test it. The next one is, so this is the normal workday screen for the creation of the supplier masters. You have to give the, see, wherever you see the star mark, those are the required fields. As I told you, if you see, supplier category is the mandatory field to create the supplier masters. Okay, so all the suppliers will be maintained at the supplier category level in Workday. Okay, payment times, default payment type, you have to maintain. So below you have to maintain your address, supplier address details, bank details also. You have to maintain as part of the supplier master creations. Then the business use cases in the transactionals, postings. What type of day-to-day business activities you have to perform as part of accounts payable or the supplier process. Forget about Workday. Okay, in general, if you see any company, what type of business the transactions will happen in the accounts payable process. Generally, will maintain the, will create the supplier invoice. Okay, before approving of the supplier invoice, if you want to make the changes to the supplier invoice, you can modify the supplier invoice, or else if you want to post the new supplier invoice and take as a reference of old one, you can copy the existing one. And the supplier invoice adjustments are nothing but the raising of the debit memos or the credit memos, creation of the recurring supplier invoices. Any idea about the recurring supplier invoice?
The same invoice will be created every month.
Yes, yes. So generally, the recurring functionality is used for the transactions will happen in the certain intervals. Like example, posting of EMIs, posting of the rents. Okay, some kind of things. Even for the supplier also, based on the business conditions, you can create some recurring invoices. Then the settlement run. So nothing but supplier payments. How you are making your payments to your suppliers. So here in the supplier payments, the payments are different payments like standard payment, underpayments, overpayments. Nothing but the underpayment and overpayments are nothing but the partial payments, we call it as. Okay, standard payments like you have to pay the full payment as per the invoice amount. Whatever the invoice amount is there, you have to make the full payment. Let's say you have the 10,000 invoice, you have to pay the 10,000. That means the standard payment. If you are paying only 5,000, it's underpayment. It's a kind of partial payments. So like that. Ad hoc payments, nothing but advance payments are the, okay, spot payments we call it as, or advance payments. So why we have to pay the advance payment? If you're buying something from the suppliers, he is new, okay, he will not deliver the goods without making the payment. So in those cases, you have to make some payments. That's called as a advance payments. We call as ad hoc payments. Okay, if you want to create the invoices, okay, through template based, we have the EIB functionalities. Okay, in the EIB web service options, we have supplier invoice, the recurring supplier invoices. So these are the generic business use cases will come on the supplier's transactional process. If I miss anything, you can add few more steps also here. Okay. So this is the supplier invoice screen. The header information and the line item information is called. The first invoice information, terms and tax. These are all as a invoice header information. So the line item information, as I told you earlier, here you have to maintain the spend categories. So based on that spend categories, okay, spend categories automatically system will pick the required GL accounts and post the accounting entry. So always you have to remember as a finance consultant, whether it's Workday or SAP or the Oracle, anything, once you post the invoice, you have to check it. The accounting entries are updated correctly or not, especially in the Workday. Okay, this is operational journals, like except the GL postings, all are operational postings. Operational postings will post based on the GL accounts maintained with a combination of the spend categories and other business dimensions. So based on the spend category, system will pick the GL accounts. That's why you have to be very careful. You have to check it, the accounting entry. Once you post the invoice and approved, after the approval status only you can see the invoice invoice accounting entry. Okay, so once you posted and approval completed, it will be in the posted status, then only you can see the accounting entry. So once you complete the approval process, you have to go to the report, find supplier invoices. There you can check the accounting entry. If the accounting entry is not updated there after the approval, final approval, that means you have taken the wrong spend category, or your account posting rule set is not maintained properly. So in general, Workday support projects, especially for the finance modules, most of the issues will come in the posting rule set issues, some kind of or business process, business validations issues, or the report related kind of. So you have to keep in mind, you have to check your account posting rule set carefully. Always once you post the invoice, you have to check the accounting entry. After the accounting entry is updated properly, then check your trial balance or the P&L or the balance sheet reports also. Those are also updating or not. So these two things you have to do as a finance functional consultant. Okay, so I had given the some of the generic accounting entries will happen in the supplier process when you are posting the supplier invoice or supplier invoice adjustment or payment, or this is the last one is especially when you are doing the project implementations as part of the cutover process. Okay, while migrating the balances from your old system to the new system, Workday system, what is the accounting entry will come for the accounts payable, vendor or the supplier or accounts payable open invoices. Okay, so these are the generic accounting entries will come. So this expense or VAT payable or accounts payable, this naming conventions, again the naming conventions will vary from the business to business. How the business want to put their accounting into the naming conventions, they want, if they want to change it, they can change it. I had given the generic naming conventions here. Okay, so these are the accounting flows. Like if you see the invoice, expense account data to the accounts payable, if the tax is applicable, VAT payable, input, TDS payable, okay, credit, VAT payable, debit, like adjustment, accounts payable, account debtor. This adjustment is nothing but the reversal of the invoice, credit memos or the debit memos. When you are making the payments, okay, you are making the payments, accounts payable, account debtor to the bank account. This is the open balances, migration of legacy invoices, okay, data takeover account data to the accounts payable. Here again, the naming convention for the data takeover or the data AP migration or accounts payable migration, whatever the naming conventions, okay, based on the naming convention specified the business you have to configure as a consultant. So these are the generic things. The next one is reports. So I had given the few standard reports available for the supplier process, okay. If the business is not happy with the existing reports, you can do the custom reports. We have 8 type of custom reports, okay. So based on the business requirements, we can develop some reports, like see the find suppliers. You can see the list of suppliers, find supplier invoices, find recurring supplier invoices, open items, balance detail summary, payments, find purchase orders, requisitions, accounts payable, aging, spend analysis for the invoices. So these are the some of the standard reports I had mentioned here. There are other reports also. So the report screen, like, okay, supplier open items, supplier balances, like. The last one is cutover task. What do you mean by the cutover task? We sometimes we call it as cutover task, sometimes we call it a data migration strategies, whatever the naming, okay. What do you mean by the cutover task and why we have to maintain? What type of data you have to migrate? Any idea? Anyone has any idea?
I think it is it's a organizational obligation to be to achieve by placing some restrictions to get the outcome of a project for the end use.
Okay.
In
Next.
that cases, we have to some strategically we have to apply this cutover.
See, the cutover strategies are the data migration strategies, okay. In general, well, any ERPs, okay, if you are migrating from one system to the new system, what kind of old data you have to migrate to the new system, okay. The data includes both master data and the transactional data. So master data is one type of one-time data, and the transaction data is your historical data, okay. What type of strategy you are following, what type of data you have to load it in each sub process. So in the supplier process, as I told you, these are the number ranges you have to maintain for the suppliers and the supplier invoices. Then you have to migrate your supplier list from the old system to the Workday supplier masters, the list of supplier masters. Again, here the supplier masters are the invoices, are the purchase orders, are like the business will decide from how long you have to take the data from the last 5 years data, or the 2 years data, or the 1 year data, okay. What is the condition? So the business, you have to discuss with the business team, and business will confirm you. So they will tell, like, I want only last 2 years data, or else only active suppliers from last 1 year or the 2 years you can migrate. All inactive suppliers from last 1 year or the 2 years, no need to migrate it. So like that, okay. you have to finalize and migrate the data. Okay, so during the migration of the data, you have to follow how you are migrating some kind of data based on the volume of the data. You can choose either you have to go with the EIBs or the iLoads. Okay, you can suggest to the business and business will agree for that. Then you have to do the data loads. Okay, so here supplier masters you have to do it, and supplier open invoices you have to do, and the open purchase orders you are doing the open again open purchase orders, open goods receipt kind of. Okay, all those things you have to move to the new system. So this is all about the supplier process. So any questions? Guys, any questions? This is all from my end on the supplier process. Any question, guys?
No questions. Actually, I joined late. May I know your name? Hello.
So my name is Venkat.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
See, we are initiating these sessions like to explore the knowledge into different modules. So I am working as a Workday finance consultant. So I know some Workday finance process related. Someone is, let's say I want to explore my knowledge into payroll or the finance or the integrations. Someone can come and they can share their experience or the knowledge on the HCM or the payroll or the integrations like what I did today. Because why we are initiated this is nowadays, you all know, because if I know something, I can work only on that. We cannot survive in the market. Okay, the organizations also expecting the employees should have the knowledge or the experience on the multiple tasks like cross-functional or the techno-functional like that. So that's why to explore the knowledge into the different areas, we are initiated these sessions. Okay, the next week we'll try to come up with a new process like customers or the reports or some whatever. Okay, based on availability or okay. Even some others also, if someone is working on already in the payroll or the integrations or the HCM, they want to share their knowledge or the experience, they can come up and share their knowledge. We will try to arrange the meeting link. Anyone is interested to share their knowledge, they can come up and let me know. I will try to arrange the link. Yeah, someone is trying to say something. Hello.